Back-to-back carries. He's off to the races
Mike.
again. Can he repeat?
Rose fumbles it, and Baltimore's going to run this back. You cannot be serious.
He's going to take another deep shot. Diving catch, Mason Kirby. What? That's deflected away.
Oh! Hey! What a catch!
More stepping back, and he's
down, but it's intercepted. The run for the first down away.
Vincent is on his way. Oh my goodness, it's an embarrassment of riches.
More, and he is to the house. An unreal play.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, Baltimore walks it off.
A special edition of the Saturday Showcase here on Sunday on Next Level Sports. The SFL quarterfinals alongside Stephen Hacker today, the co-owner of the Fort Worth Toros and director of game day operations. I'm Cameron Irvine. Hacker, happy to have you here in studio.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Cameron. Glad to be filling in for MSG, who always does a wonderful job, but super excited for these two playoff games we have lined up for us today, Cam.
Yeah, we're super excited, and Hacker, your attendance in the playoffs is A+. Mike St. Green's about a C-, so we'll hopefully have him back for the semifinals and the championship. He should be good. He should be all right. But Hacker, this should be a terrific day of football action. We've got two more quarterfinals on tap today. We start with London and Baltimore. Charleston and Louisiana coming up a little later. London and Baltimore met in week 1. Hack, and the Knights got out to a big lead before Baltimore figured things out and turned it on.
Yeah, and you know, London, the previous season ended the regular season with the win against Baltimore, and I think everybody thought London had them figured out and was going to get that early season win. And you know, Baltimore just figured it out. They've got such a high-powered offense. Jack Wigmore, their quarterback, really knows how to steer that ship, and he is the captain. He's the guy that makes that offense move. And there at the end of that game, he kind of brought them back in, and Baltimore did what they do. You know, they won a tough game in their division.
One of the things that I find most fascinating about Baltimore this season, Hack, is they're the number one pass defense. London, obviously, the number one pass offense. But what's amazing about that is usually, Stephen, the best pass defenses in the league are teams that end up with not a very good record, right? Because a lot of teams are running the ball on them late in the second half because the game is over, right? They're just trying to run out the clock. Baltimore is the only team in the top 8 of pass defense that made the playoffs this season, and they're one of the best teams in the league. So when we say they are the best pass defense in the league, it's a real thing.
Absolutely, and great safeties there in Baltimore that love to take the ball away from you. So if you take some shots down the field, if you're a little risky, Johnny Pickler, then you can throw some interceptions. So hopefully the London coaching staff really paid attention to this Baltimore defense, because they are opportunistic. They will take it away from you if you're not careful. So this London offense, as high powered as they are, Cam, they really need to be careful, because as you alluded to, Baltimore's defense is real.
An extra added element today, Stephen, Ivory Irvin going to be returning kickoffs and punt returns for the first time in his career today for the Baltimore Vultures. No Giovanni Bolt on returns. I'm a little surprised the Vultures picked this particular moment in the season to pull out Ivory Irvin. Any thoughts on the change?
Ivory Irvin is a veteran. He's a playmaker. He's a dynamic playmaker. And so I think maybe they showed something, or maybe something happened in practice this week where the coaching staff, the special teams coaching staff felt like, man, you know what, we've got something here. Let's change it up. Let's try to make something happen. And I think some of that maybe has to do a little bit with wanting to have Gio Bolt fresh for all 4 quarters, Cam, so that if they need that safety to step up and make a big play, he's not worn down from having to make so many plays on special teams and on defense.
And you guys utilize a wide receiver kick returner in Fort Worth. Cade Stevens is your returner. And for London, it's Fox Highwind on the other side of things. What do the Knights have to do to pull the upset today, Hacker, do you think?
Robert Merrill. They've used their running game late as the season progressed. Later in the season, they started figuring out ways to get Robert Merrill going on the ground, and I think that's key. I think everybody knows that they want to try to attack. They have 3 really great weapons in London, a quarterback that's not afraid to throw it, and Johnny Pickler. So I think everybody knows that that's their identity. But their identity was taken to another level when they started using Robert Merrill more effectively. And I think that he's their X factor. I think we know that that London is going to throw the ball around. They're going to generate points that way. But if they want to keep their offense on the field and give Pickler the best chance to win this game for them, it's going to be with Robert Merrill.
In the last 4 games, Robert Merrill's had over 100 all-purpose yards and at least 1 touchdown. They are 4-0 in those games are the Knights. London and Baltimore coming up next. Louisiana and Charleston a little bit later in the day on Next Level Sports and on the SFL's YouTube channel. Stephen Hacker and I will be back here at the half. Tyler Falk and Eddie Gage have the call from Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore. After this break, the SFL quarterfinals continue next on Next Level Sports. Don't go anywhere.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
With one side of the semifinals set in the SFL playoffs, it's time to find out who will be joining Vancouver and Lone Star in the Final Four. Will it be the defending champion Baltimore Vultures, who haven't quite looked themselves in the waning moments of the regular season? Or will it be the visiting London Knights, who dethroned Jacksonville Kings a week ago and set up yet another top-tier dismissal here today? From Sports Gamers Online Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland, I'm Tyler Falk. Welcome along to the third quarterfinal matchup of the SFL's 18th postseason. London came into today's game being one of only 3 teams who have beaten Baltimore at home in the last 2 seasons. Or excuse me, in general, the last 2 seasons. Last time Baltimore lost at home, it was against Carolina all the way back in March of last season. There was a lot to cover here in this one, and who better to do it than the season 18th analyst of the season? It's Hall of Famer Eddie Gage. Eddie, take it away. Eddie, I believe we have some technical difficulties going on here. I could mention a certain commentary personality that's in our league, that is otherwise known as Dave Axis. Says you're muted, bro. Go ahead, Eddie.
SFL Nation, what up, though? I didn't need an introduction, Tyler. When they saw that helicopter land with scorpion colors, they knew who it was. It's a big game, so they called a big name player. Myself, yours truly. But yo, it's a big game today. This is not about me. This is about 2 teams. Baltimore looking out here to prove that the end of the season is not who they are. London looking to avenge a week 1 loss. Stay tuned. I can't wait for this one.
Thank you, Eddie. Aerial cover today's game is brought to you by Dag's DroneWorks, aerial photography and videography services in New York State. Find them on Instagram at Dag's DroneWorks or visit their website, dagsdroneworks.com. As here we go. We are underway in the quarterfinals once again. It is the new return man for Baltimore, Ivory Irvin, on the return. His first return gets the Vultures all the way up to the 27-yard line, and that is where we'll see Jack Wigmore and company take the field for the first time today.
Baltimore, as I said pregame, they're out here to show and prove that they are the defending champions, and the end of this season was a fluke. We'll see.
Wigmore is going to line up with a heavy set. 3 tight ends, 2 backs, the backfield offset. London countering with a nickel look. It'll be a give to Murray on the left side. He's off into the distance, and it's a good pickup of about 12, maybe 13 yards on the first play from scrimmage.
First play from scrimmage, I can't help but notice that London has decided to go away from a traditional base 4-3 or 3-4 defense. We're going to see if Baltimore can take advantage of it with this run game.
Maybe they're trying to look and taking the football away a whole lot. Did that third best in the league, 35 takeaways through the air this past season. Wigmore is going to look to throw this time, and it's also going to find Murray, who spins out of a tackle, jukes another, and picks up 7 on the swing pass. Rest of the Vultures offense lines up as follows. We talked about Wigmore and Murray, the quarterback and halfback respectively. T-Roy Gaines is the fullback. Ivory Irvin, Daley Holder, Mac Chima are the wideouts, with Lloyd Graham Jr. and John Michael Sudduth at tight end. Second and short, and it's yet another heavy set here, Eddie.
Yes, it is.
This time a strong eye in the direction of the left side of the field. Another swing pass for Murray. He shoulders the man, picks up the first down before heading out of bounds to London's 47-yard line. I guess the game plan today, Eddie, is to get Murray involved early and often. He's been quite effective since returning to the league in Week 8.
Well, I would too. I mean, considering that they're going to counter with this nickel defense, look, I'm going to get the ball to Murray early and often. But with him going to the outside, that's an advantage for London, but they got to get him on the ground, and they didn't do a good job of it right there.
Fourth play, and it's yet another heavy set. Haven't seen a whole lot of the wide receivers here today besides Irvin on the return. Murray goes left side on the give. It's another big hole for Murray. Good containment on the outside. Sealed up the blocks nicely. It's another big gain of 8 for Murray.
And Murray is out here salivating, looking at this nickel defense, hoping he continues to see it for the rest of this game.
That's right. The game plan is just to continue to run the football until they can stop it. And finally, we'll see 2 wide receivers, both on the right side of the formation, 2 backs in the backfield and an eye. Quick drop here from Wigmore, looking over the middle. He's got T-Roy Gaines down the middle of the field. He's inside the 20 to the 19.
And that's going to spell trouble for this London defense. Anytime you got T-Roy as a fullback running straight down the field on a 9 route, it's hard enough to cover Mac Chima and company. But anytime you got to cover the fullback 10, 15 yards downfield, that's trouble.
A solid drive here for Baltimore on the opening possession. Started this drive at their own 27. Now find themselves in the London 19 in the red zone. Bunch set off to Wigmore's left. 3-3 nickel from London. Wigmore under pressure, gets it away to the out route, but led Irvin a little bit too far, incomplete. The London Knights offense lines up as follows. William Davidson, Sowen Lane, Chad Rowland, and Cam Crosby are the men in the trenches on the defensive line. Jeff Gagne, Tony Roberto, Taylor Max Scarborough are the linebackers. Tanner Hendricks, Brandon Ewing, Emmanuel Blackman are the corners. Jack Russell, Rain Rie, and Anthony Wayo are at safety. After bringing out the 2 wide receivers a couple plays ago, it's back to these heavy sets. Another I formation. Wigmore, quick dump off of the swing pass to Murray. Gets a block. Turns up field and picks up 8 yards before he's gang tackled by Chad Rowland and company.
On the swing pass, got a great block, as you said, from his left guard, number 67 out there in the flat, able to pick up a chunk of yards after the catch.
That's Kevin Guy there making the crucial block to help out his running back. And now 3rd and short, deep into London territory. London need to come up with a stop.
Tight trips.
Trips in the left direction in this play here on 3rd down. Wigmore looking over the middle. Wide open receiver near the goal line. Stopped a yard short as Matt Chima
London defending the end zone. But like you said, Mac Chima just found a soft spot in the zone, took advantage of it, and they find themselves 1 yard out from pay dirt.
Now you're thinking because Warren Murray's been so effective, you might go his direction here. Wigmore back to pass, under pressure, and he can't get the ball away. Down he goes. It's the first statement for London's defense of the ball game.
First mistake because they drew up a screen pass, but London sat there in a soft zone waiting for it, and there was nowhere for Wigmore to throw the ball to.
Too much time for Wigmore, and maybe too much time for that defensive line as he goes backwards 6 yards. Now, after seeing so many heavy sets, so many I formations, it's a spread look. 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side of Wigmore. Wigmore back to pass, looking over the middle, and he's got his man. Touchdown, Baltimore. It's Ivory Irvin who picks up the first score of this quarterfinal.
Ivory Irvin was hurt on that play on that touchdown, but wow, he's going to celebrate for this moment. Tanner Hendricks was all over him, wrapped around him like a blanket, but he's able to come up the reception. It looks like he might have gotten hurt coming down after the reception there.
I was going to say, looked like he landed pretty awkwardly on that left elbow of his. We'll get an update for you as soon as it becomes available. But for now, a touchdown here for Baltimore. On comes Shark Tarkington to try and tack home the extra point. It was a 10-play, 72-yard drive, all culminating with that 7-yard passing touchdown to Irvin. And Sharks under pressure. It's blocked! No good, and so the score remains 6-0. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy.
One of the best catchphrases in all of simulation sports.
I concur. On the return now for London is Fox Highwind near his own end zone. Tries to angle out to the near side. Out of a tackle. Is finally brought down at the 23-yard line. On comes Johnny Pickler, who last week against Jacksonville in that wild card matchup, Eddie, he looked pretty impressive. Again, dominating over Jacksonville like he has done his entire career.
31 of 38 for 315 yards and 3 big-time touchdowns.
Limited his mistakes to only one, like you said there, partner, and he's going to probably come out throwing here. Trips to his left, one wide receiver to his right. Pickler going to go back to pass, looking for the out route that is caught by Mike St. Green, who turns upfield, picks up 9 yards to the 32-yard line. The rest of the night's offense looks like this. Robert Merrill is the tailback. Mike St. Green, Vin Callahan, Fox Highwind are the stud wide receivers. Benji Matson and Tiberius Bovine are the tight ends. 2 standout tackles, Anthony Anderson and Perrin Ibarra. Offset eye behind Pickler on second and short. He'll hand off to Merrill out of the backfield, going near side. He's met in the backfield. It's a loss of 1 as the linebacker came through the middle. That's Alvin Mack for the tackle for loss.
And talking to Chad Rowland pregame, he said his objective was to keep the balance, find spots to get Merrill open, but unfortunately for him, Baltimore was aware of that as well.
4 down linemen, but a couple of linebackers on the outside showing pressure in the direction of those 2 tight ends. Pickler takes a deep drop, pressure coming, heaves it far, and it's a jumping grab inside Baltimore territory. Big first down for the Knights, and it's Mike St. Green again.
Mike St. Green wide open in a deep intermediate route in the middle. I'm not sure where the safeties were because they were press man defense, and somehow they got caught peeking in the backfield.
A beautiful throw and catch from Johnny Pickler to St. Green, and the Knights are rolling here on their first drive, now at the Baltimore 42. Punch set to Pickler's left as he changes the play at the line. Quick drop this time. Slings it over the middle. That is caught. Another first down. And it's to Tiberius Bovine, who came over from Las Vegas, the Hall of Fame tight end, making an impact early on in this first quarter.
Tiberius Bovine came into this game already a Hall of Famer, 4th all-time in receiving yards.
He'll line up on the line to the right, and also in the direction of 3 wide receivers in a trips formation. Pickler looking for an all-slant play over the middle. And it's picked up inside the red zone, and you have to limit turnovers against Baltimore because they'll bite you in the back, and it's Enzo Bolt who picks up his 3rd interception of the season.
And talking to T-Pat, one of the co-owners of this team, as well as the offensive coordinator, told me pregame the objective of this game was to try to force at least 3 interceptions by this London offense. They just got this first one today.
Like you said, 1 of 3 done. You need to force 2 more if you can. Now, Baltimore will start off deep in their own territory at the 12, seeing if they can't put together another solid drive like they had on the opening possession. Wigmore back to throw. Over the middle, caught, first down, gain of about 10, maybe 11 yards on the play.
Smart throw there by Jack Wigmore. London comes out nickel defense, strong side left. They got an extra defender over on his right. He just looks over to his left, finds an open receiver and hits him.
I believe that was Mac Chima on the reception. Reminder, at the touchdown of the previous drive, Ivory Irvin went down. Have yet to heard about a report from the medical staff just yet. Warren Murray gets the call, spinning out of 2 tackles, make that 3, 4. Oh my goodness, maybe he spun himself so dizzy he ended up in that tackle.
You know, some of these finesse backs, I don't know how they do it, able to spin out of these tackles and still know which way to head towards pay dirt, but Warren Murray, he's one of the best of them.
2nd and 4 now here for the Vultures. Trips to Wigmore's right, 1 tight end on the line to his left. Quick drop here from Wigmore, looking for a short out route to the left. He has got Lloyd Graham Jr., and it's another first down here for Baltimore. These short yardage situations, Baltimore has been eating them up left, right, and center early on in this first quarter.
And he showed great patience as well. He could have easily thrown that ball off to Warren Murray in the flat, but he waited for the route to develop and hit his man for yet another first down.
Split backfield now with 2 tight ends to the left. The handoff through the middle for T-Roy Gaines, and Gaines can only muscle up a yard before he's taken down.
Preparing for this Baltimore offense is no easy task. You think about all the receiving weapons they have, but do not forget Warren Murray and T-Roy Gaines combined for over 20,000 rush yards in their careers.
After the short yardage run, out comes Baltimore in a even heavier set. 3 tight ends, goal line formation as some of you would call it. Handoff through the middle for Warren Murray, trying to break out of tackles. He's only allowed maybe 2 or 3 yards. And that is crushing for Baltimore. Ivory Irvin is done for the rest of this quarterfinal.
Wow, and man, that's got to be a tough blow. Only up 6-0 with a lot of football left. They got to bite down their mouthpieces and get through this.
A massive loss for this offense, but we know that Holder and Shima can pick up the slack. They're going to have to do a whole bunch of that today. Out route near side, and we mentioned Mac Shima earlier. He picks up yet another reception, and they will mark it as a first down for the wideout.
Yeah, they're going to need him and everyone else in this receiving core, including those 2 guys we just talked about in the backfield, to all step up. It's next man up mentality. No time to feel sorry for yourself. This is the playoffs. Loser goes home.
Baltimore, the defending champions, that would be something if they were unable to get past London here. But London, again, didn't do so well in the week 1 contest versus Baltimore, and that was also here in Sports Gamers Online Stadium, the first game at the new Christian Park. As Murray breaks out of a couple tackles, it looked like he could have gotten the first, but maybe 1 spin move too many, and we're only talking about a 9-yard gain like it's something small here, Eddie, but Murray, again, continuously pushing the boundaries. He's averaging 6.2 yards per carry this season. That's 3rd best in the league.
Every yard matters when you're trying to stay ahead of the chains, especially here in the playoffs.
Short yardage situation once again here for Baltimore. We'll go to the fullback, T-Roy. To the left side, T-Roy had a hole, and he nearly exploited all of it. He gets to London's 38.
You know, it's how ironic, that here we find Ivory Irvin out for the rest of this game with an injury. And pregame, I was talking to TJ, co-owner of this team, and he was telling me that there was a bounty on any London player today, and they put out any Wake member that gets 2 sacks or they intercept Johnny at least 2 times today, they're going to ship them a Vultures Championship mug.
Oh boy, talking about bounty Kate all over again with the Vikes and Saints. That brings back some sore memories for myself being a Vikes fan. We'll see what happens here in Baltimore. Wigmore looking over the middle, wide open, Matt Cheeman. It's another first down to the 23.
Slow developing play. You need your offensive line to hold up. They did a great job of that, facing only a 3-man rush. Jack Whitmer has all day to find an open receiver.
What a beautiful pitch and catch from Wigmore. Just found the hole in the zone, and there was Matt Cheema as they're up 6-0 as we approach the waning moments here in the first quarter. Split backfield, 3 wide receivers set. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Wigmore, short drop, looking near side, caught Matt Cheema, who is being used quite effectively in the absence of Irvin.
Yeah, they got him early and often here since he's been down, but he did a great job so far stepping up in this place.
Under 20 seconds to go, more than likely the final play of the quarter. Another heavy goal line set. Here for the Vultures. And Murray through the middle, had a couple of blockers, and he's still fighting for extra yardage. He gets London 15, and that will do it here in the first quarter of this quarterfinal matchup. 6-0 the Vultures. They're knocking on the doorstep once again. You're watching the SFL playoffs on Next Level Sports. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome to Sports Gamers Online Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. The hometown Vultures have a third and short from London's 15. Wigmore looking to throw over the middle. Caught again inside the 3. And he's marked down right there at the 3. Matt Cheema involved on the last couple of passing plays, and it works out brilliantly for the Vultures.
And once again, give credit to this offensive line. Jack Wigmore, one of the fewest sack quarterbacks in this league, is continuing to get great protection out there.
Eddie Gage alongside myself, Tyler Falk. Happy to have you along with us. First and goal here for Baltimore. Offset single back behind Wigmore. He's going to look to pass. Looking over to the right side. Tiptoes are down. Touchdown, Baltimore. Who else? It's Matt Cheema.
Matt Cheema is out here making a name for himself, and his agent is already on the phone with the representatives of Baltimore telling them, hey, you better not take a pay cut off this man next season because he is stepping up big time in big time moments.
An absolutely stellar performance, and it only can happen here in the playoffs. Irvin goes down, their top wide receiver in terms of touchdowns. He led all wide receivers in the playoffs coming into today. Matt Cheema comes up in a huge way and picks up his first touchdown of the ball game. 12-0, their scoreline at the moment. Vultures looking to make it 13. Their last extra point was blocked. Not this time. It's up and good. 13-0. Baltimore with the lead. The SFL convention is coming to the Las Vegas Strip, July 10th through the 12th. HyperX Esports Arena at the Luxor will host the season kickoff, featuring all 28 teams in action. Live commentary throughout the day, every game on the big screens, and your chance to be introduced as the world as a football star. Room rates are just $80 per night stay. Visit www.simulationfl.net/convention for more information and to reserve your room today. On the return for London is Highwind, and Highwind gets to the 26-yard line and no further. The Knights, they're in a 13-point hole right now. Need to start digging themselves out a little bit. Their first drive ended in an interception.
Yeah, you don't want to get too much further behind here on the road here in the second quarter. Yes, to scratch the scoreboard.
Four wide receivers, one back in the backfield for Pickler. Quick drop for Johnny under pressure, and he's taken down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe not a sack or a tackle for loss, but either way, it results in 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's going to be a tackle for no gain. He's going to avoid the sack being next to his name on the stat sheet.
Pickler has been sacked 24 times this season. It's far more than the times that his counterpart Wigmore has been sacked. Only 15. Pickler looking to throw. It's a dump off for Merrill out of the backfield, who crunches some and picks up a first down. And that's the play you like to see from Robert Merrill, who's more involved in this passing attack with this offense.
First of all, it was a great pass by Jack Wigmore, leading him out in front without a defender anywhere near him. He can lead him out in front, so he doesn't have to break stride. But then Robert Merrill showing the power in those legs. I thought he was a finesse back, Tyler.
And he proved you wrong, proved me wrong as well there, partner, as he shows off a little bit of muscle. Now from their own 39-yard line, new set of downs here for the Knights. Offset eye behind Pickler. Flip the tight ends on the left side. They'll run to the direction of the tight ends with Merrill, who's gotten a whole bunch of room to run. Maybe could have gone a little bit further outside. Maybe followed Roy Willman, his fullback, for a few extra yards, but it's 9 all told nonetheless.
9 nonetheless on first down, making it 2nd and short, staying ahead of the chains, and you got the whole playbook ahead of you.
2nd and short. They're going to pile in a whole bunch of defenders in the box. Make that 9 all told. Maybe a quarterback blitz on the right-hand side. Quarterback blacks off and gets Robert Merrill the football. Does Johnny Pickler. Picks up the first down and will move inside Baltimore territory.
It was a great disguise, but London was not fooled. They just backed out of there at the snap of the ball, handed the ball off to Merrill, and he picks up the easy first down.
For the third carry of the ball game for Merrill. Stats today provided by Rochelle Colston and Justin Reeside of the Stats Truck. Thank you both for helping out today. And Merrill near side again, but maybe third time's a charm for this defense, and it's a no gain for Merrill. We haven't introduced you to the Vultures defense yet, so let's go do that now. Nate Brown, Joe Duncan, Al Walker, and Sir Ron Yates. The fourth are the defensive linemen. Frank Smith, Alvin Mack, Devin King are the linebackers. Enzo Bolt, Marvin Himes, Ben Stackenpaper, and Elijah Warfield, the corners, with Troy Loshaw and Giovanni Bolt, the new return man, instead of Ivory Irvin, play safety. Empty backfield, Pickler looking to throw, steps over the pocket, floats it over, finds Benji Matson for the first down. Or excuse me, that's Tiberius Bovine, my apologies. So used to be calling out Benji Matson, because that was Benji Matson's spot a season ago.
It was, but he's a backup these days. Anytime a Hall of Famer comes in and take his place. But great job by Johnny Pickler, sidestepping the opposition and getting time to get downfield.
Trips to Pickler's left as he lines up in the gun with Merrill, also sidecar left. Pickler steps up, looking for the left side. He's got his man. That's a good catch for about 4 yards to his wideout.
And since that interception, so far he's done a great job of taking what the defense gives him. He's not trying to force things downfield. He's just hitting his receivers short and allowing them to turn up field and pick up yards.
Only one incompletion today, being that interception, 6 of 7 throughout this entire ball game. Another 8 men in the box here for Baltimore as London go with another heavy set. It'll be a run for Merrill, left side, breaking out of a tackle. And that picks up minimal yards, only maybe one on the play, and it brings up third down.
Gonna be 3rd and 5. These defensive linemen, Sir Ron Yates and company, gonna be peeling their ears back, and they need to get to the quarterback. Johnny needs to avoid mistakes, check it down if he has to. They're in field goal range.
Two-step drop from Pickler over the middle. It's another interception. Going.
Goodbye.
Had a big game last week, and he's off to the races. No one can catch him. Baltimore are cruising here in the first half. Touchdown, Vultures.
And we just talked about it. Johnny could not afford the mistakes. That's his 2nd interception thrown here in this first half. Alvin Mack, I've said it time and time again. Every time I call their games, he gets sideline to sideline as well as any linebacker in this league. He takes advantage of a bad situation and turns it to 6 for this Baltimore defense.
That is Mack's 2nd pick 6 of his career, and for a linebacker, that's not something we talk a whole lot about. Great play from him, and the Vultures looking to go up by 20, pinning this extra point from Tarkington. High snap is corralled, and it's up and good. 20 zip, hometown Baltimore out in front.
Wow, and talk about a turn of events. You had London, who was already in field goal range. We just talked about it. He could not afford to make a mistake. Made a big one there.
We'll see if London can respond with some points of their own down in this big hole about halfway through the second quarter. It all starts with a return from Fox Highwind near his 1-yard line. Tries to bring it out to the left side, and he is taken down by Parker Shaw at the 27-yard line. The SFL has partnered with Rare Drop and Rare Drop Sports to advance live events and distribution. Live and in-person championship weekends, rookie drafts, and community events are in the works. Rare Drop Sports Twitch channel will broadcast 5 Season 18 playoff games starting Saturday, April 23rd in the wildcard round, and continues right here all the way through the semifinal round as well. And see what Rare Drop can do for you and your community. Follow Rare Drop Sports on Twitch at twitch.tv/RDSports. Pass to the outside, picks up 6 yards in the first play from scrimmage. That's Max Strong, the backup tailback.
And right now, Johnny Pickler needs to have a short memory. Forget about what just happened. Forget about those earlier mistakes. Get out here with 6 minutes left in his first half and try to find a way to put points on the board.
Weak power eye here for the London Knights on 2nd and 4. Hand up, left side for Merrill. This time he has a couple of decent blockers, and he sprung 3, and it's not Merrill. It's still the backup tailback, Max Strong, but a big run from Strong as he's across midfield.
Big run from Strong indeed, and you just wonder how productive that play could have been had Merrill been in the game, but he's out right now catching his breath.
So a new set of downs here for London. Maybe with a clock stoppage, we will see Merrill come back onto the field.
He's out there.
He'll be offset behind Pickler with 3 wide receivers as well. Pickler, quick drop, looking over the middle, and that pass over the middle is caught for about 8 yards to Fox Highwind.
I got a question for you, Tyler. You've been coaching for a while now. Baltimore just came out in an off-man defense, and you see teams choose to do off-man. You see some teams to do bump. You see some teams do both. Do you have a preference?
As more of an offensive-minded guy, it's hard to try and game plan for each one of them, but I really don't like bump, and if I was a defensive coordinator, I'd probably be using a whole bunch of bump as Merrill gets the call, and there he goes! To the left side, he's out of a tackle, inside the 20, down to the 14-yard line, and it's reminiscent of what the play could have been a few plays ago, and it's a big scamper for Robert Merrill.
Exactly, and perhaps that Liam and company, the owner of this team, is saying, hey, let's give the ball back to Merrill. They've been doing it since around week 8 or so, giving him more involved in the offense. And now they look like they're going to do just that and try to stick to this run game. But here they are coming out empty, so what do I know?
In the red zone, for the first time all ball game. Gun straight formation. Pickler gonna look to throw. It's picked up for the third time today. And just like you said when you were talking with T-Roy Gaines earlier in the week, they wanted 3 interceptions. They got 3 in the first half.
They got 3 in the first half. We're not even done yet. But I think that ball might have ricocheted on the receiver. Look at the replay. It does. Bovine sticks his hands up to catch it, but it looks like the ball was out and ahead of him before he knew it. Turned his back and hit him right in the helmet. Bounces off of him, and it's going to be another turnover. But that one was not Johnny's fault.
Enzo Bolt picks up his second interception of the ball game as the Vultures will take over at their own 9-yard line. Wigmore gonna look to throw over the middle, and is caught by Daly Holder, and they'll get them out of the shadow of their own goalposts in a hurry.
Wow, Jack Wigmore protecting his receiver. Watch how he, on the replay here, watch how this ball is thrown low to protect him and get him to live another down.
A gorgeous throw from Wigmore as they go one play. They're already on their own 25-yard line, started at their 9. 2 backs in the backfield, 3 tight ends in the formation. We'll more than likely see a handoff to T-Roy Gaines, and the London defense read that one perfectly. No gain on the run. Coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Stephen Hacker will break down the first half between the Knights and the Vultures, plus have highlights from yesterday's quarterfinal doubleheader. That's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report. Second and 10 after the no-gain run from T-Roy Gaines. 2 wide receivers, 2 backs in the backfield. Wigmore takes a 5-step drop, looking for an out route, and it's tipped and knocked aside. Incomplete. Brandon Ewing got his hand onto that one, and it's 3rd down.
And that's a pass that he needs to forget about and either throw the ball away or take off with it, because London had every eligible receiver locked down that play.
And London's defense provide the spark for them maybe to get back into it. It starts with this crucial 3rd down. Baltimore's been perfect today. Can they continue that perfection?
Gun quads left.
Wigmore over the middle into coverage. It is caught by Holder, but not enough for the first down. 7 yards all told, and Baltimore will be the first team to punt today.
Yeah, first punt indeed. Here we are, 3.5 minutes before the end of this first half. Fast-moving half, I might add.
Fast-moving half and a lot of scoring, both from the offenses and defenses
of Baltimore.
You said it, partner. Sam Shepard on to punt this one away, stands near his own 16-yard line. He will get that one away for Fox Highwood to try and make a return, who stands around his own 30-yard line. He tries to go straight into the teeth of the coverage team, and he picks up maybe about that gain of 5 yards on the return to the 35.
And right now, London's offense just needs to find a spark. Just get a little bit of confidence going, get into a rhythm, and close out this first half with some points.
Besides the interceptions, Pickler's been perfect today as far as completing passes.
Amazing.
Back to throw again is Johnny. He's over the middle, and that's the first incompletion that hasn't winded up in the midst of another defender. And it looked like Enzo Bolt could have picked it up for the 3rd time.
Enzo Bolt, he could have easily backed out of there upon the snap of the ball, but he was patient and trusted the guys behind him to back him up if they needed to. And he, as a result, is able to get it past deflection.
So it's 2nd down here for the Knights after the incomplete pass. Weak power I, 8 men out of the box here for Baltimore as the line shifts over in the direction of the weak side. And up, left side, nothing doing, blown up in the backfield by Alvin Mack. Loss of 2.
I love that guy. If ever Arizona was to have a linebacker retire, I promise you, one of the first calls I'm going to make is to Alvin Mack. He is a ball player.
Mr. Arizona Everything, always recruiting for his entire team. Arizona Scorpions beat the Baltimore Vultures a few weeks ago in the regular season. Can London try and replicate that? They're going to need everything in their power as Pickler looks to throw on 3rd down. Nothing doing. Al Walker hit him as he was throwing, and it's a 3-and-out for London.
Man-to-man defense once again. The secondary holds up. There's nowhere to go. He's forced to double pump the ball, and the defense gets to him.
Just like that, it's a duo of punts, one from Baltimore, and now one from Peter McLongfellow of London. Snap, and McLongfellow's punt is on its way. Giovanni Bolt, the new return man for Baltimore, gets underway again, and it's almost like nothing happened. He's been the long-time return man for the Vultures and nearly broke off one of his characteristic big touchdown returns.
Every time I think of Giovanni Bolt, I think of the return he had in the championship game to seal their first championship. Ramos had an excellent call on that play.
So here comes Wigmore. He has a 20-point cushion between him and the Knights. We're going to look to throw, and down he goes, and the London Knights aren't quite done just yet. It's a loss of 4 on the sack.
50X spot. They did a great job of covering the receiver at the right of Jack Wigmore. No one was open downfield. He was forced to eat that ball.
Cam Frosby just swam through the interior of the offensive line to pick up the sack. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning here in Baltimore. The Vultures up big, 20-0. You're watching the SFL playoffs on Next Level Sports. Quarterfinal action continues from Sports Gamers Online Stadium. Tyler Falk, Eddie Gage here in the booth. Glad to have your company as we come out of the 2-minute warning. And one of the London Knights jump off side pass over the middle, picked off. It ain't gonna matter as the penalty will negate it and give Baltimore a free 5 yards. Had he not jumped offside, Jack Russell would have had the pick.
If he doesn't jump outside, perhaps he doesn't even make that throw. They know it's a free play. They're going to accept the 5 yards. And, I mean, you talk about just bad to worse.
And Chad Rowland gets slapped with the infraction, negating the interception, and Baltimore will maintain possession of the field. And we were talking during the break, Eddie, about Alvin Mack's interception a little while ago, and there's some uncharacteristic similarities between the first time he got an interception and the interception he got today. Cam and Steven will talk to you guys more about that at the post-game update. Wigmore looks to the outside. That is caught by Chima, who's having himself an excellent game. 8 targets, 8 receptions, a touchdown, and over 50 yards here today in in service of Ivory Irvin, who's out the rest of the game with the injury.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but that was actually pretty good defense by London right there, but it was just better offense. London's down enough to play defensively to stop some of their stuff, but Baltimore's just a better team.
Handoff, Murray through the middle, spinning out a couple of tackles, and he's finally corralled at London's 44, 47 yards on 6 carries. His average today, well above 8.
And I don't know if he needed to make that second spin. If he did not and stuck to the outside, he might have been dancing in the end zone right about now.
See, I can't do quick math on the fly. There it is. There's 8 yards on average, or thereabout. Maybe I'm getting my math wrong. Maybe some help from everybody at home. Wigmore fires out to the right side. That is caught. Breaking out of a tackle is the tight end Lloyd Graham Jr. Picks up 3.
Lloyd Graham Jr., I remember he first came into the league. They didn't really throw in the ball too much. Wasn't really involved, but since then, I believe it's around his 3rd season or so, his career has taken off.
Lloyd Graham Jr. has spent all 7 of his seasons right here in Baltimore, showing very nice loyalty to the franchise. Wigmore going to look to throw. It's an underneath route again to LGJ, and LGJ picks up another first down here for the Vultures.
Even when they tried to tackle the big man, they couldn't get him down on the ground.
All 246 pounds of him, standing at 6'6" is Lloyd Graham Jr. Very tough figure to even attempt to tackle. He has a little slipperiness to him as well, which allows him to break out of a couple tackles. We saw that in the play before that last week.
2 tight ends on the field.
See if they go to either of them. Pass over the middle. Nearly complete to John Michael Suddeth, but the hit from the defender jars the ball free, incomplete.
Yeah, we complimented Jack Wigmore on throwing the passes low and away to protect his receivers, but that time he let him out to dry, and it's amazing he was able to get up off the turf there.
Rookie from Lexington almost thrown into a suicide pass. It nearly looked like. From the 32 still of London, it's 2nd down again.
Jack Brown calls them hospital passes.
There we go. Wigmore looking short over the middle. Caught. Gain about 5 yards. Baltimore called their first timeout with 1:06 remaining.
With 1:06 remaining, they call a timeout. I might have waited until I see if I got the first down or not, and then elected to call a timeout. Trying to keep the ball out of Johnny Pickler's hands, but we'll see how that unfolds here.
I think they're definitely in Shark Tarkington range if they want to try and make sure they extend the lead, but they're going to come out with a gun straight package. Wigmore all alone in the gun is going to look to pass. Looking deep down the near side and in and out of the hands of Daly Holder. Fantastic coverage from Rain Rie, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, I thought that was actually Tanner Hendricks. Let's get a look at the replay, but yeah, it is Tanner Hendricks on this deflection. And wow, you just got to wonder if that's Ivory Irvin. Is he able to come up with that reception? But good defense nonetheless. Tanner Hendricks is one of the better corners in the entire SFL.
Had 3 interceptions this season with a pick 6 as well. Odd Cub Shark Tarkington. This one is going to be about a 44-yard attempt from the right hash.
Left-footed kicker.
Southpaw. Let's see if he can knock it straight and true. Kick is up and on its way, and it is straight down the pipe. 23-0. Baltimore out front at home, displaying their prowess.
Baltimore is right now is looking out in the crowd, telling everyone to settle down. We still are the defending champs. We know that we did not end the season the way we wanted to, but hey, we're going to get back on track. But this game is not over. A lot of football left, and Johnny Pickler is sitting out here. Going to get the ball with about 50-plus seconds left to end out this half.
10 plays, 37 yards for Baltimore in the last drive, culminating with that 44-yard Tarkington field goal. It's a brilliant move from Highwood to try and get extra yardage. He's only able to get to the 21 after being tripped up. And they're going to need something, Eddie Gage, to try and go into the locker with a little bit of hope, and points of any variety would do that.
Yeah, and it looks like Suddeth might have got away with a face mask there trying to tackle Fox Highway.
Pickler's going to hand off to the left side for Merrill.
Oh, nice
Shoulders
flip.
a man, gets a couple extra yards, 7 all told. And it looks like they're content with going into the locker room down by 23.
Yeah, nice 7-yard game, but we'll see what they do here on second down. See how aggressive they get. Line up in the gun.
3 wide receivers, 2 to Pickler's left, 1 to the right. Bump coverage here from Baltimore. Pickler under pressure almost immediately. He's able to fire that one over the middle. Caught by Bovine. Picks up the first down with under 15 to go. Pickler back to pass again. Another pass over the middle, and that one swatted away by Mack.
I don't know if I've ever seen a linebacker get 2 interceptions in one game, but Alvin Mack almost became the first if that's the case.
That would have been something. Now only 9 seconds left to go in this first half. It looks like London are going to play more conservatively to end out the quarter. Heavy set. Handoff. Merrill couldn't get around his fullback who maybe got caught up behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2. Timeout call here from London with 3 seconds to go.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I don't know, 3rd and 12, deep in your own end. I might just let this half expire, but we'll see what they do here. I remember one time when Jacksonville was trying to close out the half, they went try to Hail Mary, and the ball got tipped up in the air by a defensive lineman, picked up, intercepted, and returned for a touchdown to close out the half. Got to be careful here.
Another shotgun set. Final play of the first half. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Pickler's going to take his time snapping this one. Back to pass. In trouble. Passed over the middle, deflection, and that is how the first half ends. It's a simile for how the things have gone for the Knights here on the road. They are down by 23 as we go into halftime. The Vultures in front by a huge margin. Can London come back? We'll send you to the studios for the post-game update right after this. This is the SFL playoffs on Next Level Sports.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report. Back here at SFL Studios with Stephen Hacker. I'm Cameron Irvine, 23-0. Stephen, the Baltimore Vultures, defending champs all over London. Welcome back to the playoffs here in the quarterfinals. Your thoughts on the first half, Hack?
Baltimore looks like they've returned to their tip-top form. Their number one wide receiver, Ivory Irving, goes out early in the ball game, and they don't miss a beat, and they look tough to beat. I think a lot of people have Vancouver as the favorites in this playoff series, but looking at how Baltimore's playing in this game, they look very tough. Defense is prepared, offense is prepared. Again, when your star wide receiver goes out and you have some of your other role players step up in a big way, I think that's a testament to how well coached Baltimore is and how prepared they are for these matchups.
Deja vu, back in week 1, Baltimore took on London, and get this, so late in this game, Baltimore was pulling away from London, and then this happened. Looked very familiar, Stephen Hacker. Let's watch the play. Alvin Mack going to step into the slot here, and yeah, there he goes.
And a huge run there too. You got to love the speed from a linebacker, and Cam, that's only his second career pick six interception, but both times has come against this London team. And Alvin Mack just really looks to feast on Johnny Pickler, and he keeps making mistakes and keeps throwing his way. And I think Alvin Mack's trying to send a message. Yeah,
the slants just absolutely killing London. They have no diversity in their deep passing game on these third and long situations. Robert Merrill has been awesome, Hack. When they've been able to get him outside on that left side, the blocking. Benji Matson had a fantastic pancake earlier. I mean, London has really done a nice job in just about every other phase offensively, but these picks out of these slants are just killing them. And, Steven, I think the only way to teach someone a lesson is to keep taking losses, but London keeps trying to force this issue.
Yeah, three interceptions on the all slants. One time it led to a first down, so there is some consistency there, but I think teams know what they're getting into when they roll that into their playbook. If you're going to rely heavily on the all slants, and teams that have good defensive backs like Baltimore, they're going to step up, punch you in the mouth, and take the ball away, as Baltimore did in the first half. And I think you nailed it. Merrill, when they've got him going specifically on the left side, has ran the ball very well. When they run at Alvin Mack, they play well. When they throw at Alvin Mack, it leads to mistakes. But, I've seen Mike St. Green, they've had cover 3, and he's been alone down there at the bottom of the screen on an island with the number 2 cornerback, and they're not taking the shot. They're continuing to attack the middle of the field. I think the sidelines are there for London. If they would throw something on the outer third of the field, I believe that they would have more success than what they're having. They're trying to attack the heart of what Baltimore is trying to stop, and it's leading to a bunch of turnovers.
Cam Frosby has been outstanding on the London defensive line. Emmanuel Blackman's been very quiet. Mac Chima, that excellent first half. Warren Murray kind of got it going, and then it was Jack Wigmore towards the end of the half, and that's how we got to 23-0. Yesterday, Stephen, Tulsa and Vancouver in the SFL quarterfinals. It got us started, and Tulsa picked up where they left off last week against the DC Dragons. They looked pretty good early. Tom Pepper throws a pick to Nate Heslip, and the Desperados were off and running.
Yeah, and Tulsa really is a great story this season. They really turned their season around, and to come in and play against a powerhouse like Vancouver, I thought they put up a valiant effort. Their rookie running back, Douglas Brown, a great key cornerstone piece for this franchise to build around. They've already had some really good pieces there. Daniel Wright, the free safety, another really great piece for that franchise. So I think that this loss for Tulsa was a tough one, but I think it's a building block for your team. They can look at this and say, hey, we made the playoffs here. We put up a good effort against one of the best teams in the playoffs. As you see a big play there down the sideline shows Tulsa's explosiveness. But I think that this is something that they can build on, Cam. Tulsa, this could be an announcement game of, hey, we're here in the league, and we're somebody that you have to face going forward in the future, a team you have to be worried about.
Corey Jones was terrific. The playmakers on both sides of the ball were excellent in the first half. There's James Walters with a catch, Pepper threading the needle, and Pepper down the field to Brett Killian. Really mixed the ball, threw put the ball all over the field is what I'm trying to say to all different types of receivers. And then this catch by Kendra Hall.
Money. Oh, wow. Great recognition there, Cam. To be able to spot the ball off the tip and then still make the adjustment to the ball in the air and secure that touchdown, that's a game-changing play. And, you know, Vancouver really has 3 wide receivers that can do that, and then a couple of tight ends that play really well. Very, very respectable offense. But, Cam, the thing I'm most impressed about for Vancouver this season has been their defense. I mean, I've always seen them as an opportunistic defense, but I think that they're playing better. They're stopping the running game a lot better, and they just seem to be more poised. They seem to make plays when they need to, and I think that that's a big an undersold story for Vancouver going into the playoffs. Everybody knows that Tom Pepper, you know, has the single game passing record, knows that this guy will fill up the stat board, but I think that Vancouver's defense is really what's going to take them to the next level as we get deeper into this playoff hunt.
Tulsa would respond, counter to Douglas Brown. The Desperados went up 10-7 over Vancouver. And at this point, we were saying, okay, you know, Tulsa's really staying efficient. JQ only had 1 incompletion in the first half yesterday, and they were rolling along. But right before the half, Tom Pepper led the troops. The punt went down to the goal line, which wasn't shown on the highlight reel, but Pepper in about 2.5 minutes or less than, as Walters with the stiff arm gets into field goal range, leads his squad down the field, 12-play, 100-yard drive. You almost never see that, and Vancouver took the lead and really all the momentum into the halftime locker room. There was Walters again, and then Chris Curtis. He's going to come out of the slot. They're right next to the hash mark, run a corner route, and there it is. Touchdown in the end zone, made it 14-10. In the third quarter, Tulsa just seemed to be running in quicksand, Hack, and they never recovered.
Yeah, and that's what a great offense, you know, that's what a disciplined offense can do to you. It can take the wind out of your sails. And again, when your defense is playing as well as Vancouver's has, it really makes these games feel tough. You know, Tulsa had a very tough task going in to Vancouver to try to pull out a win here in the playoffs, and Vancouver's home crowd showed up big, and Tom Pepper put on a show. And you know, you'll get another highlight here. Pepper just doing what he does best, finding the receiver Brett Killian there on the right sideline. Killian breaking a couple of tackles. Fantastic effort from here. These wide receivers from Vancouver, A1, one of the best wide receiving groups in the league.
Redford makes the play of the day here, makes 2 defenders miss, and then finds the pylon. That's a touchdown for Vancouver, 21-10. They ended up winning the game 24-10 as things got into a defensive slog late in that one. Then we went to Denton, Texas, Lone Star Glory hosting the Sioux Falls Sparrows. We picked this up a little bit later in the first quarter. Sioux Falls was up 7-0. Nathan Barnett in the first quarter with a pick. Also had a fumble recovery in this game, and Sioux Falls looked terrific early, and that was kind of the story early on. It was just that Sparrows defense, which had a historical season, was really making some big plays. Greg Soto and the Glory would get on the board, though, early in the second.
Yeah, Lone Star really struggled. It seemed like they couldn't quite find their identity in the first quarter. It took until about the second quarter here. You see they got back to their roots, find their running back, Ike McBride. She's a bruising back, can take on the workload. But up to that point, they really hadn't used her effectively. And it took Lone Star a minute to really kind of figure it out. And to this point in the game, Sioux Falls really looked like they were in control for the most part.
Okay, Marion scores 14-7. It would end up being 21-7 on this GP Wells touchdown run. And it's amazing, Hacker, that was right before the end of the first half. I mean, this game almost halfway over, dominated by the Sparrows on the road, looked like they were going to pull the upset. But a key Greg Soto kickoff return for the score made all the difference in this one.
Yeah, and that kick return from Soto, as you're going to see here, really helped keep Lone Star in this ball game. Had they gone into the tunnels, I think at half down 14, I think that might have felt like too much. But you know, again, Soto with that game-changing speed, the Cuban Missile, able to find a way to keep his team in this ball game. And there was a lot of second effort attempts from Greg Soto in this game. You know, he really helped put the team on his back and made some plays down the stretch to keep Lone Star in this game to help them eventually get that win.
Lone Star down 21-7, scored 27 unanswered points in this one, and Lone Star took the victory 34-21. Lone Star will take on Vancouver in the semifinals next weekend, next Saturday. And Hacker, you were saying earlier that you've had Vancouver as your sort of championship favorite from the beginning. This team has really stepped up. It really does feel like their year.
Yeah, and I've, just being around and kind of watching them grow, Vancouver has always been a very, very tough team, but it's I think you and I have discussed this privately, but, Vancouver always seems to hit a point in the playoffs where it's like, okay, this is the win they need, and that's when they kind of falter. And those are like the heartbreaking losses, and Andy and Vancouver have stuck together through those losses. And I think that that's helped them now because they look stronger than ever. They've always had, like I said, a really, really great offense. And an opportunistic defense at times, but I think that they fine-tuned, like how we talk about Baltimore is fine-tuned what they do with their game plan. I think Vancouver is on the same tier on how they put their game plan out every week and how they prepare, and it's a nightmare. If you go in, you try to shut down Kendra Hall, they've got BK12. You try to shut down Kendra Hall and BK12, they got Robert Redford. If you try to shut down those three, they've got Chris Curtis, James Walton. It's just never ending with them. And that's a testament to their coaching staff and how well they do. They're a tough team, and they've been so for quite a few seasons.
Vancouver's 6-0 all time in their first playoff game of the season. They are 0-5 in their second game of the playoff season all time. Lone Star is in their first semifinal since season 13, the first of the Lone Star Glory era, and I think Greg Soto is an underrated coach. I think the diversification of that offense and the way they spread the football around can give Vancouver fits. Should be a very interesting semifinal battle. Well, I think Johnny Pickler and the London Knights have had enough time to think about what happened in that first half. Second half adjustments are a real thing, Hack, and we'll see if London has enough diversification of their own to try and pull an epic comeback. They are down 23-0 on Baltimore. Tyler and Eddie have the call for the second half. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report. Hack and I will see you back here postgame.
Welcome back to Sports Gamers Online Stadium here in Baltimore. Check out sportsgamersonline.com or check them out on YouTube and see why millions visit their website and YouTube channel. Remember, Sports Gamers Online is your #1 source for the sports gamer. And here we go to start off the second half. London down by a boatload will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. And Highwind on the return gets to the 22-yard line. I'm Tyler Falk, joined alongside Hall of Famer and analyst of the season, Eddie Gage. And Eddie, London's got to make up some ground in a hurry.
They do, and it starts with Johnny Pickler. He has to get rid of this turnover bug because otherwise he's been effective.
See his stats down below, just a couple of incompletions, already over 100 yards, or just at 100 yards. As they come out with an empty backfield, 4 wide receiver set. Go with a slant play, and that time it works out pretty well. Mike St. Green on the other end of the pass, hauls that in for a pickup of about 13.
That's only Mike St. Green's second catch of this ball game, and they're going to need more production out of their number 2 receiver if they're going to come back and win this game.
It looked like the first drive that London had, Mike St. Green was heavily involved in that, just in targets and passes, but really just wasn't involved in the rest. Maybe that's why they decided to go back to him here in the first possession of the third quarter. Now Pickler's going to go back to throw. It's a deep ball over the middle, and it's nearly picked off, trying to hit St. Green again, and it's Troy Loshuk coming up with the deflection.
And great job by Baltimore on that play. There was no one open, and he needs to either throw that ball away or take off and run with it.
Take a look again. Loshuk, excellent position to go ahead and nearly come away with pick number 4 the defense would have forced. But instead, it brings up the second down.
It should have been pick number 4.
Quarterbacks come up under the line playing press coverage. Quick drop here from Pickler. They'll just swing it out to Merrill out of the backfield, and Merrill is going to pick up a good chunk of yards, make it 7 all told before Mack comes in with the tackle.
Great closing speed by Alvin Mack again there. I mean, he had a long way to go to get out there to the flat, and he got there in a hurry.
Mack's been all over the football field, does have that pick 6 today, and again come up with a couple of nice tackles. 3rd and short here for the Knights. Tight end flexed off to the left. Offset eye behind Pickler in the backfield. Pickler's going to look to throw. He has to get rid of it in a hurry, and does. And there's Mike St. Green at midfield, and it's a first down for the Knights.
Mike St. Green doubling up his reception totals from the first half. He already on his first drive, here in the second half.
You're thinking end of offseason. You're thinking about the draft when all the SFL-ers are going to get drafted, and you guys can catch the SFLM in its 3rd week this Friday over on SFL's YouTube channel.
Blitz.
Pickler looking over the middle. It is dropped by Bovine. A rare drop from the Hall of Famer, and it's second down.
And Johnny Pickler actually did a great job of reading the blitz. They brought the blitz from the linebacker spot, but he was forced to throw it a bit before he wanted to, and Bovine unable to hold on to it.
Second down. Let's see what happens. Last time they were here on second down the drive, they tried to run for it. Picked up 7 yards. We'll see if they go Merrill's way. He's offset single back behind Pickler to the left-hand side. We'll try and pass here on second down over the middle. Diving receiver cannot haul that in, and it falls incomplete, intended for Fox Highwind, and it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, it was hard to tell from that angle whether he got bumped or what, but Johnny threw that ball just a bit too soon before he can get to the spot.
Big 3rd down for London's offense early on in this second half. 4 wide receivers, Pickler under center. About a 3-yard gap between the corners and the wideouts. Pickler going to look for an all-slant play over the middle, and he led his wide receiver a bit too far again, targeting Highwind, and it falls incomplete yet again, 4th down.
That one actually wasn't Johnny's fault. That one, on that play, Fox Highwind got some alligator arms. He saw the safety barreling down on him, and he made what we call a business decision not to make that catch.
Baltimore finally forced the London Knights offense off the field. Then it'll be Giovanni Bolt back to return, not Ivory Irvin, in case you missed it in the first half. First drive of the football game, Irvin holds in a touchdown and gets injured subsequently. And now it's back to the original return man, Giovanni Bolt, making the returns. He calls for a fair catch at the 17, hauls that in without any problem. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Plus, read articles from our content team, including power rankings, what we learned, the read option, and Talent Factory's feature series. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent in the SFLM, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. Handoff Murray, nothing doing on the first offensive drive for Baltimore here in the second half.
And London continues to have spurts in which they're able to defend these heavy run sets out of the nickel. It's impressive, but sooner or later it's going to take a toll on these defensive backs as this game wears on.
Saw a lot of I formation, a lot of heavy sets in the first half. Now we see a couple of different options. A shotgun formation here on second down. Wigmore, deep bomb over the middle into the breadbasket of the defender for London, and it falls incomplete. Jack Russell could have come away with a crucial pick.
Yeah, and with it being that type of situation, your receiver has to fight a little bit harder for that ball. It's 50-50, but my goodness, you got to make a better effort than that. And my goodness, William Davidson is tall. Do you see how he towered over his teammates?
Wow, he's just a beast out there on the field. Big third down now for London's defense. Wigmore under pressure, and it floats over the wide receiver. Incomplete. That's Baltimore's first 3 and out of the ball game, and it couldn't come at a better time for London.
Couldn't come at a better time, and this time, Wigmore, we talked about him protecting his receivers, but that's the second time today we've seen leave his receivers out to dry, and you wonder why SFL insurance is so high for these players. It's passes like that makes it that expensive.
Like Avery Irvin's finding out, the medical staff is top-notch as well, and that insurance money goes straight to the doctors to try and fix them up for the next week if Baltimore make it through. Sam Shepard on to punt it away to Fox Highwind, standing just inside his own territory at the 40-yard line. Great punt from Shepard, and Highwind gets turned around at the 42-yard line.
Baltimore's defense is out here to remind everyone who they are.
The Wake, as they're called here in Baltimore, showing up in a, well, they show up in a big way each and every week, but right now laying the boom on Highwind. On come the Knights offense now. Merrill off center of Pickler in the backfield with 2 wide receivers. 4-3 look here from Baltimore to try and counter. Pickler back to throw over the middle, but 2 tight ends it looked like got crossed up. Yep. Matson and Bovine combining for an incompletion.
I personally don't like that play because of what you just saw right there. 2 receivers in the same area fighting for the same territory, and it's just friendly fire in that case.
Let's go.
Second down from London's 42. On and chart out 3 wide receivers this time around, only dropping Benji Matson, the second string tight end, off the field, and it's only Tavierus Bovine near side. All slant play over the middle into coverage, and playing there expertly was Devin King, the outside linebacker, nearly come away with another linebacker interception, and it brings up 3rd and long.
And this Baltimore defense has come to play today. They come into this game, into the regular season, averaging giving up 22.8 points per game. That's 3rd in the SFL. They're known for their offense, but their defense is pretty darn good too.
The offense for London really needs to repay their defense, forcing a 3 and out as they're about to go 3 and out if they can't convert here on 3rd down. Pickler looking short. It is caught about a yard shy of the marker. Goes Fox Highwind. And now it's decision time, down by 23.
Decision time, but if I'm London, I'm going to go for it because it's playoff time. There's all or nothing right now. And it looks like they're going to do just that, or at least try to force them to jump off sides. We'll see what they do here.
Offset eye behind Pickler and a strong eye. Linebacker shift over to the 2 tight ends. 10 seconds left to go with the play clock. Pickler still trying to force one of the defensive linemen offside, and he won't do it. London will call a timeout, and Baltimore are forced to 3 and out after going 3 out on offense themselves.
And it's one thing to try to force them to offsides in the first half. Those timeouts in the second half are that much more important. I'm not sure about that decision there because that may come back and bite them so they find a way to get back into this game.
They're going to try and play the field position battle, and not only that, partner, but they lose one of their timeouts in the second half, already down by a bunch. So if you need them for a big 2-minute drill drive, there's not going to be all 3 there for you.
Gonna try and pin Baltimore's offense deep here inside the 10. Let's see if they can do it.
It looks like Baltimore are going to send the heat. And the punt is away safely from McLongfellow. It's another fair catch called for by Giovanni. Bolt hauls it in without any problem. And that is where the offense will pick over. The SFL's minor league, the SFLM, is how you, the viewers, can get involved in the action. Create a player today and get on the field to begin your professional football journey through our website at simulationfl.net. The minor league season begins, or it continues next Friday, but it's not too late. There's still 2 months to get your player ready for the next rookie draft in June. The SFL, where the viewers are the superstars. And Warren Murray through the middle, dragged down from behind after picking up 5 yards.
Dragged down from behind. Baltimore came out and saw this 3-3 nickel, and if the play wasn't for a run, he would have audible to it anyway.
Now from their 21-yard line, second and medium. 2 wide receivers in the package with 2 backs behind Wigmore. Quick drop here from Wigmore over the middle, over the outstretched arms of Telemax Scarborough into the breadbasket of Daly Holder. First down, Vultures.
And I know I said this in the first half already once, Tyler, but London, you got to credit the defensive coordinator. He is dialing up the right plays, but Baltimore's offense is just better than most. He had that play defended perfectly, but nothing can do about it in that situation.
Calling up the right plays, just as you said also in that first half, Baltimore's a better team, better coaching. They've been here before. They know what to expect. Handoff, Murray spinning out of a tackle and can't get out of the combination tackle of Scarborough and company after picking up 6 yards.
Baltimore right now just working on this play clock and just methodically working the ball downfield.
Second and 4. Ball at the 44-yard line.
2 tight ends set with 2 wide receivers as Wigmore goes under center. Wigmore takes a 5-step drop, pumps once, now looking to the outside, and there is Daly Holder once again playing in the wide receiver 1 role in place of Ivory Irvin, hauling in another big catch.
And Tyler, I don't know if I should even say this, but if this game was actually on like television, it could not be on local television because some of the chat comments in here are borderline.
If you want to chat with everybody right now on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/RDSports. Rare drop, one of our newest members of the SFL family. Happy to have them along as T. Roy Gaines picks up 5 on the fullback dive.
Baltimore, I mean, my goodness, they just chewing this clock up, but yet and still finding ways to stay ahead of the chains and keep these downs manageable.
2 backs in the backfield, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end off to the right. Wigmore, 5-step drop, looking for another out route. He's got it. Holder again, first down to the 32.
And don't look now, but they already are in Shark Tarkenton's field goal range.
Looking to put up even more points. It's been Baltimore all game today. The defense has played superbly. The offense, maybe a blip here and there, but they keep on humming. First down from London's 32. Wigmore in the gun, looking for an out route near side. Caught by Matt Cheema, the storyline of the ball game. He has been the centrifuge of this offense in Irvin's absence. We keep on mentioning it, but it's been the story, Eddie Gage, how these 2 second-string, third-string wide receivers have really come out and played their hearts out in a playoff game.
That's his 3rd catch here in the second half, and he continues to be the bell cow of this offense.
On a needed turnover in the worst way as Baltimore continue to march deep into their own territory. Pass over the middle on the crossing route. Caught. Daly Holder picks up another Vulture first down.
Continue to move the chains. I mean, they're doing just enough to, I mean, my goodness, this has to be frustrating if you're a defender of this London Knights franchise.
First and 10 from London's 21, just outside the red zone. Wigmore looks to throw, steps up, dumps it off for Murray out of the backfield. Is only able to pick up a yard, gets him to the 20-yard line.
Whitmore methodically working the ball downfield, and the way their offense is humming, you would think he have more than 214 yards passing by now.
After seeing a couple of shotguns, a couple of spread looks, they're back into the goal line set. Handoff for Murray. Goes through the middle, almost untouched until he crossed the 15 and finally wrapped up at the 14.
And on that particular play, it looked like Baltimore parted the Red Sea as there was not a defender within 3 yards of him either side.
3rd and short here for Baltimore. Need to get beyond the 11-yard line to convert and continue to march down the field and maybe hit Peter. Wigmore looking near side. That is caught by Matt Chima. 1st down, 1st and goal for Baltimore at London's 8.
And Wigmore is just taking advantage of what the defense is giving them. They are continuing to attack the flats out there to the short outside, and London continues to backpedal out of there.
Chima closing in on 100 yards, 11 catches in the ball game. Wigmore, he's been absolutely phenomenal as well, closing in on 200 yards passing. And has a really good QBR. Murray through the middle, tried to spin out of the tackle, is wrapped up at the 4-yard line with just about 2.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Baltimore doesn't allocate much resources of their cap to the offensive line, and if he keeps getting runs like this, I don't think they're ever going to need it because they've been parting this Red Sea this entire drive, and they're going to do it again right here. Look at this soft box.
And Murray, and the south box comes back to bite those words. They're able to get to Murray for a short yardage pickup for Murray, only maybe a yard.
Yeah, they ran to the weak side right there. If they run to the strong side, I think he's celebrating right now.
3rd and goal from the 3. Here for Baltimore. Can the defense stand up to this Vultures attack? Wigmore looks to throw near side into coverage, and they finally force Baltimore's offense off the field. On comes the field goal unit for the Vultures, and as they look to try and tack home 3, in excellent position to do so.
Mac Chima has 11 targets. That's the first one his way that fell incomplete.
On comes the southpaw kicker, Tarkington, to try and tack home what looks to be just a chip shot, 19 yards from near the left hash. High snaps corralled, kick is up, and it is good at 26-0. Baltimore in front as you're watching the SFL playoffs on Next Level Sports. We'll be back after a few words from our sponsors. was a 5.5-minute drive for Baltimore that saw them tack home a field goal, march it all the way down to 3, just couldn't punch it in. As we welcome you back here to Sports Gamers Online Stadium. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Eddie Gage. Fox Hyman on the return for London, gets it all the way to the 21 and no further. That's been the story of the day with returns. And the story of the day for London, Eddie, is just the ineffectiveness that has plagued London's offense.
Yeah, they just can't seem to get any consistent drives going. They've gotten Merrill going a couple of times, but once Johnny drops back to pass, turnovers have victimized him throughout this day.
Start out the drive with 3 wideouts. Bickler gonna look to throw over the middle, and it's knocked aside, nearly intercepted. Once again, Marvin Himes came out of nowhere.
He did, but credit to this defensive line who put pressure up in Johnny's face as well.
D-line has been outstanding today, forcing a couple of mistakes from Pickler with the pressure that they provided. Just 1 sack today from Alvin Mack, but a couple of the pressure. The pressure is exactly what Baltimore has been wanting throughout this entire game, and they look to send more with maybe an inside blitz. Indeed, they will. Pickler under pressure. That's knocked aside again. Enzo Bolt, who has 2 interceptions today, looking to continue that mark, and it's 3rd down again.
Johnny Pickler in this second half is 4 of 12 with a number of pass deflections on record as well. Just not his day.
Big 3rd down, looking to try and maybe not go for a second straight drive, 3 and out. 5 wideouts here on the field. Pickler looking for a deep corner route. Mike Green with a huge catch and a 1st down for London. Oh, we haven't seen a big play in a long time for London. And that right there, incomplete. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it got jarred loose right there at the end. They come out in 3-2 combo inside zone, and it was a bang-bang play. And just when you thought they might have had some momentum going, Mike St. Green was unable to hold on to the football.
Oh, it looked so good for a while, but the Vultures defense has came to play today. 4th down. Peter McLong fell on to try and punt this one away. And that one's blocked. Things have gone bad to worse. Baltimore start on London's 9.
I mean, you just got to feel bad for the fans of London right now as this game just looks like it's starting to slip away. And I can't help but notice in the chat, Andy is really active and happy right now. He's thinking, I don't have to worry about London. He was scared of him all week and having nightmares about Johnny Pickler defeating him over in Vancouver.
It's 1st and goal, first play of the drive. Dump off over the middle, caught by Mac Chima. Picks up maybe about 2, maybe 3 yards on the play.
2-3 yards on the play, but they're in no hurry. They're going to take their time and continue to do what they do. Look at Mac Chima with the absence of Irvin. Just stepped up big time.
He's had a phenomenal day, hasn't he, partner? 2nd and goal, heavies formation. They go with Murray to the near side. He is stuffed behind the lot. They go right back to the original line of scrimmage where they began the drive at the 9-yard line.
3rd down and 9. I just wonder, do they get greedy and go 6? Or do they hand this ball off to Warren Murray and settle for a field goal?
Instead, they're going to try and throw for maybe a touchdown. Trips to Wigmore's left. Wigmore over the middle, and it's picked off in the end zone. A lucky bounce goes the Knights' way finally, and Jeff Gagne hauls in the tipped interception.
We saw in the first half Hall of Fame tight end Tiberius Bovine with a pass deflected right off his helmet, intercepted by Baltimore, and this time they return a favor as Lloyd Graham was unable to hold on to the football, and he drops it for an interception.
So let's come up with a couple of mixed match names, right? Let's go Johnny Stacking Paper. How about that?
There you go.
First and 10, London on their own 20 after the interception in their own end zone. Pickler under pressure, gets it away, and it's not turning upfield. Good run. First time we've seen Vin Calia today. He picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, he's been rather quiet here today, and but But that was an aggressive move by him, able to turn the corner and stay in bounds and pick up the first down.
Did get knocked out of bounds, so the clock will stop with 19 seconds to go in the third quarter. That's a dismal stat from Johnny Pickford, only a QBR of 20. And off to the right side, Merrill stutters, steps, and takes up. Down the right sideline, Alvin Mack chasing him from behind. He's going to break out of that tackle and finally shove out of bounds at Baltimore's 18.
And you saw great patience right there by Merrill. Look at this replay with the stutter step, slowing himself down. You don't see it there, but Baltimore's corners did a great job of keeping him inside, bringing him to his help.
That's an exciting way to end the third quarter. Get your 4s and any 6s up. You're watching the SFL playoffs on Next Level Sports. Can London make a comeback? It would be the most in league history. Come back to find out. Final flame of regulation here in the quarterfinals matchup between Baltimore and London. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Eddie Gage. Replay as the defensive lineman jump offside. Merrill on the left-hand side gets a first down inside the 8-yard line, and London will take the yards. And last couple of plays both involved Merrill, and both have really been the most productive plays we've seen out of London in quite some time.
Yeah, he got ran down there, and impressive run, but we were talking about it during the break. You know who slowed him down, right?
Alvin Mack, of course.
Alvin Mack. That brother's a ball player.
He's been outstanding today, of course, has that pick six, and he seems to just have an extra gear that he can get to these wide receivers, these running backs. He's a stud. Now here comes London in a power eye. Handoff. Merrill near side, spinning out a 1-2. Can't make it 3, and he's down at the 5-yard line.
Now, he was wrapped up for the tackle already, and Alvin Mack dove at him, helmet first, trying to take his head off. Alvin Mack is not giving up on this football game.
He wants to continue to just keep piling on the misery to Robert Merrill, and it's 2nd and goal, and it's in gun straight package here in a short yardage situation. All slants over the middle, pass back in the end zone, tipped. Touchdown! Vin Callia comes up with a tip drill, touchdown, and the shutout goes for naught.
Wow, and I was just about to talk about how unfortunate it was to get that ball, intercepted once again, but this time, talk about making the most of a bad situation. That ball was tipped up with 3 Vulture defenders in the area to come up with the football, but somehow London comes up with it.
It's points on the board for the Knights. Now, for the first time, we'll see JT Delaney on a try and tack home an extra point and continue. Maybe this is the beginning of the largest comeback in league history, as Delaney's kick is up. It is good, and it's 26-7. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Laney gets us going once again for Giovanni Bolt to make a return near his own 5-yard line. Tries to on the near side, makes a spin move, is taken down at the 26. You're always wondering whether or not Giovanni Bolt's going to break off the big one, and well, he only gets the 26 this time, partner, as the offense takes the field again.
And there is a virtual fight going on between a couple of keyboard warriors in the SFL chat. And of all people, Anthony Wyo is the peacemaker.
I formation behind Wigmore. Only 6 men in the box here for the Knights. Handoff. Warren Murray, the right side. And he's folded like a lawn chair after picking up 4 tough yards.
Yeah, he was folded, but wow, he showed great patience with them. A couple of stutter step moves there. A lot of young backs you see go out there and just try to make something happen. But he was really patient, been around for a long time, and he's showing his veteran leadership right there on that play.
They'll flip the formation here on 2nd and 5. Hand off again. Oh, he's hit hard again after picking up 4. Murray is going to have a couple of bumps and bruises when he gets home tonight.
Yes, but oh my goodness, yeah, he's got to learn to lower his shoulder right there.
Another crushing tackle. I believe that was the free safety. Anthony Wyo came up from his safety spot to take him down. Offset eye now. Wiggle hands off to Murray. And London getting to the backfield. The defense for the Knights has stepped up and have really provided a couple of crucial tackles. That one, by the way, of Selwyn Lane.
Yes, we're going to force a 4th down, and they're going to go 3 and out here in London. Not giving up just yet.
On comes Sam Shepard to try and punt this one away. Once on its way, Highwind back to return inside his own 25-yard line. Can't make heads or tails the return and only gets to the 28-yard line. So the Knights were able to pick up 7 last time out. Gonna need 7 more on this drive.
They are, and time is not on their side, so they're going to need to move this ball down the field quickly. They don't have time to wait.
8:17 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Knights down by 19. Pickler going to look for a slant play over the middle. Tipped, and Enzo Pold just stares at that one as it flutters to the turf.
You know, I don't want to give away too much, but Baltimore came in here with an excellent game plan defensively, and it is working. I mean, it's like a masterpiece out here today.
2nd and 10. Lona come out in a heavy set. Baltimore packed the box with 8 defenders. It'll be a screen play for Merrill to the left side. He gets out of a tackle. He's beyond the 1st down marker and down to the 42-yard line.
Baltimore is only credited unofficially with 8 pass deflections, but it seems like it's at least a dozen.
Even though it's a screen play, got enough yards, a little tough running from Maryland. Like you mentioned, partner, back to a passing game for London. They've run a lot of these crossing routes, and the Vultures have really been circling around that center part of the field. It's given Pickler some fits. He's back to pass again, looking for something over the middle. This time it's caught by Bovine, picks up 7. No deflection that time, partner.
Yeah, and to use an NBA analogy, without giving away too much, Baltimore is doing a great job of packing the paint, and that's exactly what they've done today, which has resulted in some of these mistakes that London has made.
Under 7.5 to go now. Offside behind Pickler. Only one wide receiver. That's Callahan near side. Go with the run for Merrill. Nothing doing. They got into the backfield in a hurry. It's a big tackle for loss by Sir Ron Yates, who's 7th in the league in terms of tackle for loss. That is 18th now in the season.
That's his first tackle of the game, but I promise you he's made a bigger impact than that as he's been getting pushed up front all game long.
Shotgun formation here on 3rd and 6. Pickler will look for a pass over the middle. It's bobbled and intercepted for the 4th time today. Troy Loshaw picks it up, and knowing Baltimore, this game might as well be over.
Yeah, I mean, when it rains, it pours, and Johnny just cannot catch a break today. And that was Fox Highwind who was unable to hold on to the football. And for the 2nd time today, Johnny is victimized by his own team.
So Baltimore will take over on their own 34-yard line, looking to try and milk as much of this clock as possible. Wigmore's going to instead decide to throw a little jump pass, and that was nearly taken away right back.
London has done a great job of taking away 50X spots. You can tell that they came into this game planning for it, as they took it away a number of times today. But unfortunately, when the opportunity is given to them, they just can't hold on to the football and pick them off.
So Baltimore not content with running out the clock. They're going to still try and throw up by 19.
Kind of surprising.
Wigmore near side. It is caught. Nearly picked, but Holder comes away with it. Gain 7.
And Anthony Wayo smelled that play he read it like a blanket. I mean, you see him pre-snap coming down into the box. He read it like a book. They called this play once today earlier already. And had he held on to that football, it's going to be a pick 6.
3rd and short. Clock continues to run.
He's down in the box again, Anthony Wayo.
See if they go in that direction of the bunch. Wigmore looks the opposite of the bunch. That is caught by Lloyd Graham Jr., and it picks up a huge chunk of yardage inside London territory and down to the 45-yard line.
You know, Tyler, I'm a team player. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be, but I'm about 2 seconds away from getting out of this booth, finding wherever Andy is watching this game at, and having a conversation with him.
You got to put a little bit more context in that there, partner.
Yeah. Well, my wife might be watching, so I'll refrain.
There we go. If you want to chat with everybody, go to twitch.tv/RD Sports. And the swing pass for Murray near side picks up about 4 yards. He's finally taken down by Tanner Hendricks at London 42-yard line. Coverage of the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports continues next Saturday with the semifinals starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Top seed Vancouver will host Lone Star, and the winners of today's games will square off for the right to play in a quest for an SFL championship. Visit NLSE.com to find Next Level Sports in your neck of the woods. Wigmore looks to pass again. Another route far side, caught by Chima near the marker, and he's taken down a yard shy at the 37.
Mac Chima started this second half off not as quite as efficient as he was in the first half, but here he is with 5 catches already now. Here late in the 4th.
3rd and short. Murray offset behind Wigmore. Wigmore going to again look to throw. It's a corner route caught. Lloyd Graham Jr., no one in front of him. Touchdown, Baltimore, and that's the exclamation point for the Vultures.
As a defensive back, your DB coach always tells you if you're gonna go for the deflection, you better get it, because it's oftentimes no one is behind you. London gambled on it, looking for the pass deflection, did not get it, and as a result, Lloyd Graham Jr. is in the end zone.
Completely fooled the DBs. The tight end gets free. That's touchdown number 6 for Lloyd Graham Jr. this season. And it's getting close, partner. It's getting real close to the end of the football game, the time when stereotypically the fat lady sings and it's all over. But under 5 to go, London still have a part to play here in this quarterfinal. Shark Tarkington on to try and tack home the extra point, which he does, and it's now 33-7. Vultures out in front.
When Baltimore scored their first touchdown, the extra point was blocked, and the first thing that came to my mind was their playoff game against Mexico City just last season, thinking that extra point might come back and bite them, but Baltimore was having none of that.
Tarkington's going to get us going again here with the kickoff. Iwin stands 1 foot in his own end zone as he makes his return. Tries to cut out to the left side, but he's met and taken down by Nate Simmons at the 22-yard line. London's offense retakes the field. Pickler, it's just not been his day. 4 interceptions, a QBR under 40 today, and he's got to try and figure out a way to get his team back into this one.
50% pass completions. He's going to need more than that if he's going to come back today.
Pickler under pressure almost immediately, looking near side. Tiberius Bovine is out there, picks up 4 yards before he falls out of bounds, which will stop the clock.
Very athletic for a tight end to be able to turn around like that, locate the football, and get a foot down in bounds. Not many tight ends can do that.
See now if they try and go with a more deeper passing route, down by a boatload. 2nd and 5. Pickler in the gun, 3 wide receivers to his right, 1 to his left. All slant play over the middle. That is caught this time around by Webster Speedy for the first down. They'll go right back into the same formation in a hurry up. Pickler again looking for the slant play over the middle. That is dropped at midfield by Fox Highwind. 2nd down.
Yeah, the receivers of London has not done Johnny any favors today. I'm not sure if it was the moment, it's playoff time, they're on the road, or what, but he needed a better effort from them than this.
Pickler will come out with 4 wide receivers once again. This time, 2 on each side with Merrill off to his right. Pickler looking over the middle, and it's picked off for the 5th time today, and it might go back for the 2nd pick 6, and it will! Marvin Himes is into the house, and it's the 2nd pick 6 of the ball game, and London want to forget about this game immediately.
It's not all too often that I'm fooled about defensive coverages, as I thought that there was a zone look. They actually brought the safety down in the box, and I believe he was actually covering the tailback. He was, but I guess they fooled Johnny Pickler as well, because Baltimore was able to pick this ball off, and for the 2nd time today, as you've alluded to, they returned it to the house for a touchdown, and this game has gone ugly for London.
Not the game we expected after London took down Jacksonville last week. London looked to be really strong contenders and maybe even a even matchup for Baltimore, but the Vultures have squashed everything. All momentum, all game prep, all planning, and the Vultures now lead 40-7.
Mac Anthony is in the chat saying, turn this over because it's done. Wow.
Tarkington will get us going once again, and now we got to start talking about the semifinals. Baltimore, partner, is going to be taking on the winner of Louisiana Charleston. 2 defensively minded teams.
Yeah.
Who do you got in that matchup?
Oh, it's going to be a rematch they played earlier this season. Final score being 15-0. I have a feeling, as I said earlier this week, that this is going to be a bit more scoring than that. Kent has been with the team for a while now, so they got a chance to get accustomed to him and what he likes and doesn't like in comparison to TD Drew. I don't want to make a prediction, but I think Jacob Clear, he's doing some things over there. He needs to start getting some credit for what he's got going on over there in Charleston, coaching that team up.
Game will definitely not end up 15 donut like it was over in Charleston a couple of weeks ago. Iwan's return gets it all the way to the 23, and that's where London's offense picks up the torch as it's a swing pass to Merrill out in the backfield. He picks up 3, and they're going to go right into the hurry up as we approach the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Fickler going to look to throw again. Sidearm sling, and it's picked off again. Number 6 today, and Elijah Warfield adds on to the misery for London, and they'll take over at London's 31-yard line.
Man, Baltimore come out in this man defense again. You got 2 receivers running the same area. The ball gets deflected. Look like it might have bounced off a defender's shoulder pad. And wow, I mean, what else can you say? But just an unfortunate day. If you're a fan of these London Knights franchise, knowing that changes are coming, potentially coming down the road here in the near future.
Chad Rowland, the general manager and head coach, linked with an expansion bid in Indianapolis. The Indianapolis Ramblers, one of the 9 or 10 expansion franchises to go up for consideration to the owners. Handoff through the right-hand side is Damon Morehouse, the backup tailback, and it looks like the backups are in for the Vultures offense.
Here they getting those starters on the sidelines, gonna put some ice on their knees, get them rehydrated and ready for next week.
The hometown crowd is silent. That's not something we hear from a pass far side. That one's picked off in the end zone, and it'll be recovered, and they'll start the next drive on their own 20-yard line. Will the London Knights. Second pick at the ball game, first one of the day for Emmanuel Blackman.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why he's throwing a ball deep downfield up this big, but perhaps he's trying to put some tape together for a team who may be looking at him in the offseason, but that's not going to get it done.
Daley Holder, the intended recipient of the pass, and unfortunately results in an interception. And so here comes Johnny Pickler and company. Once again, 6 interceptions today. Can he change his fortunes? Pickler going to look to throw. Pressure coming. Tries to wheel inside arm. Oh, a nice athletic play from the QB to find Vincalia for the first down.
Athletic play by Johnny right there on the run.
See if they can make it happen once again. The hurry-up offense they go. Pickler going to look to throw. Deep bomb near side. Tip. St. Green off his backside. Can't haul it in. Incomplete.
We seen just yesterday Kendra Hall bring in a touchdown reception after it was deflected by the Tulsa secondary. Mike St. Green, not so fortunate.
Now under 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Pickler under center, 3 wideouts as the offense looks a little sluggish to get back to the line. Quick drop here, looking for the out route. That is caught. Kalia left side. Picks about 5 yards, and it brings up 3rd and 5.
3rd down and 5, and at this point, you know, it's obvious here that London is playing for pride, but as you see Johnny Pickler in the game chat, congratulating his teammates on the season and looking forward to better things next season and beyond.
Third down here for London. Vultures playing bump coverage. Pickler looking over the middle. That one is tipped and incomplete. Looking for Bovine. Nothing doing. 4th down. London already in their own territory. Still might look to go for it.
I couldn't tell if that ball was tipped or if he just dropped it, but it's going to be 4th down nonetheless.
Offense retakes the field. Nothing to lose here at this point. 5 wideouts take to the field. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. 3-2 dime package here for Baltimore to try and cover. Pickler, deep shot over the middle. Caught! Great pitch and catch. I believe that's Vincalia. It is. Who picks it up in the 39-yard line of Baltimore, and they're marching down the field. Pickler going to look to throw again. Another deep ball for Vincalia. This time he can't bring it in. Went to the well one too many times. And in on the coverage for Baltimore. Playing outstandingly in place of the starters is Marvin Johnston.
3-2 dime defense, combo inside zone. I'm not necessarily a biggest fan of that play, but Baltimore has run it a number of times today to perfection.
Shotgun set again, 4 wide receivers. Pickler looking over the middle. That's caught near the markers. Tackled a yard shy. 3rd and 1. Pickler brings his troops back to the line. Hurry. Another slant play over the middle. That's caught inside the 20, near the 15. Wrapped up at the 16. London hustle back to the line again.
You can tell the backups are in because that was terrible defense.
Now we finally hit the 2-minute warning here in this one. Baltimore with a 33-point lead. London trying to take some pride as they close out their season. You're watching the SFL playoffs on Next Level Sports. Final 2 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Tyler Falk, Eddie Gage with you here to close out this quarterfinal matchup. Replay. Robert Merrill gets the swing pass to the left side. It'll be a 5-yard pickup, whether or not they try and go with the penalty or the actual swing pass itself. Partner, it's been a day to forget for the Knights. They're trying to take a little bit of life back with them to London as they travel back home after this one. It's been a tough day. They played so well this season, and this has not been a good reflection of what these Knights are capable of.
It has not. They've won, I believe it was 7 of their last 9 games, or 8 of 10, whatever the case may be. They've been really hot, and to end the season this way, we talked about it during the break. The receivers just let Johnny down today. He's made some ill-advised decisions, but he didn't get any help from his receivers either.
Tip drills have not been kind to Johnny Pickler. Pickler looks to pass again. That's over the middle. Caught by high wind inside the 5. Good enough for a first down as they hustle back to the line with 1:47 to go on the clock. Pickler going to throw again over the middle. Caught. Touchdown, London, as it's Tiberius Ovine who comes up with the touchdown, and that'll put double digits on the score line for London.
Yeah, with the backups in, London was able to move the ball downfield a bit more effectively and take advantage of these backups, but put points on the board nonetheless.
JT Delaney retakes the field to try and knock home his second extra point of the ball game to make it only a 26-point deficit between the two clubs. Snap spot. Kick is up from Delaney, and it is good. 40-14 the score here with 1:43 left to go in the ball game, as we'll probably see Delaney try and attempt an onside kick.
Oh, most definitely. Onside kick attempt coming here. And at this point, Baltimore's going to bring out their hands unit to try and recover the ball and put this one away.
And it's on its way, corralled cleanly from Baltimore, and they will take over at London's 40. Onside kick goes for naught. Baltimore just have to milk the rest of this clock. Coming up on the 8 p.m. Music post-game update, Cameron Irvine and Stephen Hacker wrap up the clash between these Knights and Vultures and preview our final quarterfinal matchup of the weekend, the Charleston Predators and the Louisiana Revolution. It's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music post-game update. Look, backfield behind the backup quarterback, Adam Jefferson, and off goes a huge run for Baltimore as T-Roy Canes nearly broke it all the way to the house.
Yeah, you talk about just adding insult to injury. I mean, that's just totally unnecessary. But he doesn't get that many carries as he's accustomed to getting prior to his move to being a fullback. So perhaps he was just taking out some frustration of not getting so involved in the offense. T-Roy looking like the man he used to be as a tailback on that carry.
Just fantastic running, like you said, reminiscent of his early days. But I would wager that him as a fullback, that big, beefy man that T-Roy Gaines is, just demonstrates the willpower of this Baltimore Vulture club, as we will see Adam Jefferson take a knee. That is London's final timeout. Baltimore are a minute 30 from going to the semifinals. They will face the winner of Charleston, Louisiana. Stay tuned here on Next Level Sports for the post-game update, and we'll get you out to Louisiana and Stack Up Stadium for that one following the post-game update as well. That all takes place a little after 4:30 Eastern time today.
Todd, I got a question for you, sir. Will you be at the convention this season?
Absolutely. You can see me, my flat cap, and maybe even Netmo make an appearance over in Las Vegas.
That'll be a thing to see. It was a pleasure meeting you last season. I gotta admit, just talking to you, I didn't imagine you'd be so tall. I'm like, man, this dude must be about 6'1".
Oh, you got my metrics right.
All right. And I said, he's pretty tall. But yeah, it's a pleasure every time, getting in there to meet everybody and having a good time and, rooting your teams on. And it would be a great time. Looking forward to it.
It'll be so much exciting because it's going to be at the Luxor Hotel in an actual esport arena. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. There's a lot of great stuff planned here at the convention here in season 19. But for now, here in season 18, the Vultures are going to tack home a field goal, make it a 43-14 ball game if all goes well, but it will leave maybe only a few seconds for London to maybe make a return, maybe throw one more pass for Johnny Pickler here in season 18. But it's been Baltimore all day, all game long, as Tarkington, the southpaw kicker, will try and attempt a 25-yard kick from the left hash. Snap spot, kick is up, and it is good from Tarkington. 43-14 your score line. That might be the final score line of the ball game. And partner, I had it, like you said, it was a pleasure to meet you in Houston this past year. To see you again in Las Vegas, it's going to be a treat. There's going to be so many of us coming back for another convention. We hope to see a whole lot of you there at the convention in Las Vegas at the Luxor Hotel, July 10th through the 12th. If you haven't yet checked out what all the convention is about or want to maybe even join us, you can go check out the convention details at our website, simulationfl.net/convention. Fox Highland makes the return all the way to the 22. They'll have 5 seconds to maybe throw one Hail Mary or heave-ho, try and make it maybe a 21-43 ball game. But for all intents and purposes, this defense for Baltimore has played outstanding today, partner.
They have. And speaking of that convention, Tyler, I am really looking forward to walking through that tunnel come game day.
Absolutely. Player introductions all provided by the tunnel that the HyperX Arena has in town. Pass over the middle, caught, first down, but it isn't enough, hasn't been enough all day as the Baltimore Vultures take the win 43-14, and they move on to the semifinals. Eddie, take us through what has been a one-side performance for Baltimore.
Well, it all started with that first possession, marching down the field, putting points on the board. get an interception from London. I believe it's on the second drive of the game, and from there they did not look back. Ivory Irvin got hurt catching that touchdown reception, but Mac Chima stepped up in a major way with 13 big-time catches and a touchdown for 84 yards total on the day receiving. And wow, it was just a game on both ends. I mean, offense, defense, special teams, they all stepped up for Baltimore on this day, and they proven. Yes, we may have ended the season on a sour note, losing 2 of our last 3, but we're the defending champions. We're going to go out here come playoff time when it matters and show why we're the defending champions. Did a great job of that today here at home, pleasing the home fans. Alvin Mack here on the replay, he had a great day defensively. This entire unit did, actually. But I want to take nothing away from London. I want to give London their props as well. They came in hot, winners of 7 of their last 9 games, and they ran to a buzzsaw today. But nothing to hang your hats over. There's probably going to be some turnover this season. Should Chad get awarded an expansion team, I'm sure he's going to look forward to get out of there and take his general managership leadership with them. But I'm sure they'll fill the void with whoever they got in mind moving forward, and they'll be back next season as well.
Partner, if I had to give a player of the game to Baltimore, it's a tough pick between a couple of defenders like Marvin Himes and Alvin Mack. And I think the 2 wide receivers who stood up in place of Urban Holder and Chima. But who's your pick for player of the game?
I'm going to go with Mac Chima.
Mac Chima, he had like you said, a solid game. Merrill had over 100 yards today in terms of all-purpose yards. Did not get that touchdown, which was the theme for Merrill during their last 4-game win streak for London. Did not pick up a touchdown, and the result is a lopsided win for the Baltimore Vultures. As Pickler is intercepted 6 times. I would have to imagine that it's a wide receiver getting the nod for player of the game. But let's get the call for the pundits here in just a moment, partner. But final thoughts on today's game and final thoughts on London's season.
Final thoughts is Baltimore is who we thought they were, and that's the defending world champions. They came out today with a statement win, big time, here at home, sending the fans home happy, and you just got to feel proud of this organization, especially considering the way that they ended the season.
Jack Wigmore is your player of the game, as picked by the pundits. 32 of 41, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns, and above a 100 QBR. For my partner, Eddie Gage, and for our statisticians, Justin Reside, Michelle Kelsey, and for the men back in the studio, Stephen Hacker and Cameron Irvine, we say so long from Sports Gamers Online Stadium. Post-game show is next after this break. And until next time, good morning and good afternoon and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Arizona, I love y'all. It sucks not being in the playoffs, but I promise y'all we're going to get back there next season.
back to SFL Studios for the post-game update. Along with Stephen Hacker, I'm Cameron Irvine. Nothing changed after the second half. London was unable to adjust. Baltimore wins the blowout, 43-14. They move on. They will host either Charleston or Louisiana.
Yeah, and that game coming up next, it's going to be what I expect to be a good one, Cam. But just to highlight some of those second half changes that London didn't make, it was a tough one out there. It's a rough way to end the season. I know the coaching staff has to be feeling very upset about that one, but London made a decision to stick with their guns, and they lived on that hill, they died on that hill, and that's a tough one. But when you're gonna roll out a game plan that has some risk, it can bite you. I thought fortune favors the bold. Baltimore made some different changes. They went with Ivory Irvin to be their kick returner. They went with something new, something different to go into the playoffs to try to keep their opponent off on their heels. And even though Ivory Irvin left the game very early, the adjustments and the things that Baltimore did really showed why they're a class above. And I think London just fell a little bit short in this one.
So they will host the winner of this one, Charleston and Louisiana. Now, if you're watching at home and you thought, oh, that last game was rough, this should be one heck of a game. An over-under set at a measly 47.5. These two defenses do it in two totally different styles. And the last time these two teams met, it was 15-0. This should be one heck of a ball game.
Yeah, I mean, if you love playoff football, defense, these two teams are premier at that. I think Louisiana is going to come in. I think they're going to want to use their two-headed running back system, Cam. I think they're going to want to try to get both running backs going. So that's going to be a big challenge for Charleston. Their defense to have to step up, and their front seven is going to have to make some big plays. But really, Charleston's front seven has been a key point to their defense, keeping them going throughout this season. And I just wonder what it's going to be on offense for Charleston. I'm going into this game, no shade thrown at Louisiana, but I've had my eyes set on Charleston. They've been very quiet, very much kind of taken on a dark horse role in this playoff picture. And I think that, if they can get some big plays out of Buchanan Simons and have their running back Keith Swearingen really carry the load, I think that Charleston has what it takes to kind of throw Louisiana throw something in the wrench, throw a wrench in the gears for Louisiana.
B.E. Robo he had one of his best games last week. This is an underrated passing offense for Louisiana. Buchanan Simons had a great game last week as well. The two big-time pass catchers for these squads really stepped up in their previous game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Andy Hamilton, Wade Phillips on the call from Stack Up Stadium in Louisiana coming up on the other side of this break. Should be a fun one to wrap up the quarterfinals. Hacker and I will be back at the half to talk SFL honors and much more. You're watching the SFL quarterfinals presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Stay tuned.